Hey, Kofi, that's much better.
Is that better? Okay, good.
Yeah. Yeah, it was
Yeah,
cracking up, and this goes on radio.
okay, yeah, I think these headphones are dying, so I think I should just throw them away and get another pair.
But you're going to come to Beverly, Massachusetts, which is a really wonderful. You'll love it up there. It's on the ocean, and it's
Yeah,
a
I've
nice
been there
fall.
before. I've been there
Oh,
before,
okay.
so I mean, I've been to Massachusetts a lot of times. I love it up there because pot's legal there, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
And I'm a pothead, so I like being in areas where pot's legal.
Yeah, I don't have any problem people doing it. I don't do any drugs or drinking or anything. I'm just a stick in
Yeah,
the mud, I guess, you know.
I don't call pot a drug. I mean, I think it's more of a herb. I mean, I have to do it because of my back. I was born with 6 lumbers instead of 5 because of all the heavy drugs my parents did. So I have back problems, and I can't. Painkillers they work a little bit, but they're terrible for you. And pot just works better. I eat it edibles. I don't smoke it because smoking it doesn't do anything for me. But if I eat it, it releases all the pain in my back, and I can be hunched over, and I eat the pot, and I'm straight. Stand up straight. It's insane. So I don't
There
know
are
how
pot
it does it,
shops
but
everywhere.
oh, that's great. Well, I'll have to get some edibles while I'm out there.
Yeah. In fact, I go to the gym every night, except for tonight because I review movies too. But there's a cannabis shop right near the gym, which is kind of interesting. You see some of the gym guys going into the pot shop, which is fine by me,
Okay.
but I just think it's interesting.
What kind of gym do you go to? What gym?
I go to LA Fitness, so I go on the treadmill and I do like
Okay.
2 miles a night, and then I jump in the pool and then the sauna. I got a routine
Oh, okay.
down.
Oh, good.
But
Okay.
I'm 70 years old, so
Yeah. Oh,
I like
yeah.
to keep running. I've been doing it all my life.
Yeah, it's good for you. Definitely good for you. Keep
But
active.
it must have been amazing growing up with Ginger Baker and playing drums and learning from the master.
Well, I didn't know any different. All I knew was, I was 3 years old, and he forced me to play rudiments, and I didn't know what was going on, and I played them, and he would go out the room and say, "Keep playing that rudiment until I get back," and he'd forget about me, and 2 hours later he'd come back, and I'd be like, I'd be crying because my hands hurt. So he made me learn all the rudiments before I was allowed to play drums, allowed to play on a kit, and then he left me his leady snare drum, which was the snare drum he played through Cream and Blind Faith and everything, and a bass drum and a hi-hat, a couple of broken cymbals. And that's what I kind of played on for a while until I was, like 11 or 12. And I think maybe 14, he gave me his whole kit, and then I had a whole kit to play. And then he took the snare drum back, and I was trying to get that snare drum to go into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame because I thought that's where it should be. But his wife, his widow, won't give it to me. So she wants to sell it, I think, and make money out of it. I was like, that's really bad. Because my dad said, you get those drums back. And she came up to me in the hospital and said, "Ginger wants you to have the drums." I'm like, I know, that's all I'll probably ever get. And then when he died, she said, "You will get nothing. You will get nothing." So I got nothing.
Wow.
That's
Well,
how
that's
it goes,
sad.
though, Yeah, because I think that drum should be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I really do. It should be, in a museum. It shouldn't be like sold to someone collector in their house. It should be there for people to see. I think, anyway.
Well, those records were so well crafted, the Cream records.
Yeah, well, they were well mixed, and again, like back in those days, you did like 630,000 takes of a song, and then the producer picked the best take. But it was a take. It was you played it all live in the studio. Nowadays, everything's done to a click track, and everything's has to be the snare drum has to be the same sound throughout the whole album. Everything has to be perfectly right and clean, and I think that ruins it. I mean, if you listen to those old albums, you can hear screaming and shouting in the studio, and people go, "Yeah," and you can just hear stuff, and it's like I think that makes it more organic. Nowadays, everything has to be so clean, and you know, that's why I like those albums. And, you know, my album I'm just releasing right now was done, you know, across the pond. Like my guitar player, Rob, is in England and I'm in America. So we had to do it, you know, sending things back and forth. But again, I still, you know, made sure my takes were pretty much live. I didn't, I didn't do any overdubs. I did some dropping in on places and spliced some parts together when we were writing tunes. But they were all, you know, me playing the part, you know, not how they do it nowadays, and, you know, copy and paste, you know.
I understand. Is your material on Spotify?
No, you have to buy the album from the record company because the record company's small. I don't think they released it. I don't know how you get it. All I know is if you go to Facebook, if you go to Kofi Baker Facebook page and scroll down, you'll find it. You'll find a link to it, and you can get it that way. But it's
okay. So it's Kofi Baker.
Yes. And if you go to the band page, Kofi Baker band page, you'll find it'll, you know, be there somewhere. But yeah, I mean, it's a great album. I mean, it's my first solo album in like 10 years, and it's my first non-jazz album in like 20 years. So, you know, it's actual, you know, songs with vocals, and people are, I mean, I don't see it, but people are saying it sounds like old Pink Floyd, which is kind of weird to me, right? You know, that's what they're saying it sounds like.
You mean old like Sid Barrett?
Yeah, no, the old stuff.
That's the Pink Floyd I love. The Sid Barrett.
Oh, well, you'll
stuff.
like this album then. You'll probably like it.
Cool.
It's very trippy.
What are some of the songs, and how did you go about writing them?
Well, I mean, me and Rob wrote them together. I would write, you know, a part and send it to him. He would write a part, send it to me, and then I'd work on his stuff. He'd work on my stuff. Then we'd send it back and forth. He'd go, well, I like that, and I like this. A couple of songs on the album are like, you know, 5 or 6 different parts put together where I like that, I like this, well, let's keep that. You know, because then I was like, well, let me do the whole track. And I do the whole track, and he go, you know what, I really like the feel you did on that part and that part. So we go, okay, well, that song, we'll just, you know, put the intro of that and the middle eight of that, and then, you know, the part we wrote, and we put it together. And in some of them, Rob would write a song, and I just play one take, you know, on it, and it would be good. So it was, all the songs were done all different ways. They all sound different, and they're all different kind of, you know, different kind of sounds of it. So yeah, it's a commercially viable album though. It's very, I think it's very commercial, although it kind of doesn't really fit in a box. So it probably won't. Radio stations don't know what to do with it because it's not a rock album, it's not a jazz album, it's not a pop album. It's a kind of a psychedelic, trippy album. Oh,
I love psychedelia.
So yeah, I mean that's my whole thing. Is I'm really into the, you know, trippy stuff. So's Rob. So it worked out really well.
Oh, that's very cool. And do you play any of it on stage, or is this strictly a Cream Faith tour?
Well, we're trying to get Malcolm to learn some of our stuff, but, you know, again, this is our first tour, and we're having to spend a lot of time. I've been building out a van for the last 3 months to get ready for this tour. So I've been working on that. Malcolm's been working on trying to get all the stuff together, like all the posters and everything. So we haven't really had a lot of time to learn each other's original music, but we will after this tour, after we get this tour done, because we're re-establishing ourselves. We got ripped off by a guy that called the band the Music of Cream and employed me and Malcolm, and then once he got all our contacts and everything, he fired Malcolm and then fired me, and then carried it going. And it was like, really? So me and Malcolm said, you know, you're not even playing Cream right. You know, you're playing it with all these idiot people and saying it's family, and it's not one member of the family in the band. But our band, Sons of Cream, is, you know, I'm Ginger Baker's son, and Malcolm's Jack Bruce's son, and Rob's my dad's grand nephew or something. So it's all family.
Oh, it's a nephew.
It's my dad's
with the headphones. Yeah.
Well, it's my dad's sister's daughter's son. So I think so. He's blood relative to me, I mean, his
Right.
great-grandparents are the same as my great-grandparents. Or his great-great-grandparents are the same as my great-grandparents, I suppose. But yeah, it's my dad's sister's side, so it's the other side of the family.
Tell us, if you don't mind, tell us a story of Ginger and you, father and son, and a good anecdote that.
Well, a lot of my stories are based around drugs, unfortunately. But I went to Italy to play a gig with my dad. Well, actually, I went to Italy just to see my dad, and we ran out of money when we were in Italy, and we had to organize this drum duet gig. So me and my dad sat there and practiced these drum duets together, and it was, I had to get things right the first time, otherwise he got very mad at me. But anyway, we worked out this drum duet, and then it came to the day of the gig, and I got so sick. I said to my dad, I can't play the gig. I'm sick. I couldn't move. I was throwing up, and I said, Dad, I don't know what to do. And he goes, I know what to do, son. Take this. And he chopped out a line of cocaine for me, gave me a big biro pen with the filament removed in the middle, and I snorted 3/4 of the line, and it worked. It cured me completely. I mean, I was so energetic. I got to the gig and played it in the home before they left. That's what it felt like. I was on fire. And that was my dad's my first experience with cocaine that my dad gave me, and it was kind of interesting. It's like, it works if you're sick. I don't suggest taking it if you're well, but if you're really sick and you have to do something, that cocaine works for sure. But my dad was a character. I mean, I went to Italy, there were so many things, stories that he had a tank carrier, a World War II tank carrier. That was his truck that he called Aggie Flagship. And, that thing was insane. That ran out of gas once. And, he got me really stoned at some people's house, and then made me get into the back of his truck and try and get the jerry can out, which is a gas can. And then, to put some gas in Aggie Flagship. And then he rolled up a piece of cardboard and made me hold it as a funnel while he poured the gas in, and the gas is going everywhere. And I look up at my dad while he's pouring gas all over me, and he's got a lit cigarette in his mouth. And I was like, that's my dad for you. Constantly blowing himself up with stuff and rolling his tractor down the hillside in Italy and thinking that was fun. My dad was a character. He just did things and had fun with it. It didn't really, he didn't care. He just did whatever he wanted to do.
Well, he was a rock star. He was
he was a rock star. And he was a rock star off the stage. That was what my mum couldn't handle. She was like, can't you leave that on the stage? But he couldn't. That's what he was. That was him. He was a nutcase.
You've heard of the Jay Giles Band, right?
Yes.
So Peter Wolf is dynamic on stage, but when he's off stage, he's very reserved and very quiet. So it's the opposite of what Ginger was.
Yeah, my dad was probably worse off stage than he was on stage. Yeah, he was. It was a wild time growing up with him because you never know what was going to happen. You just never knew. Unfortunately, there was a lot of turmoil in my upbringing. If you watch that documentary, Beware Mr. Baker, it kind of touches on some of it. But I was evicted from my house when I was 14 because my dad lost all his money and just left, and so it was, I lived on the streets for a couple of years. That's why I left school and became a musician for full time. Yeah, there's so many wild stories about my dad. I could tell. It's just insane. He was wild to be around. But he was a manic depressive, so he was either really up or really down. So it was, and the best time I saw him was when he was broke, when he had no money, was when he was his happiest, I think.
Whoa.
So, when he had all the money and all the fame,
Yep. Did you jam with Jack Bruce?
I'm the only drummer in the entire world that's played a gig with Jack Bruce, Eric Clapton, and Ginger Baker.
Really?
Yeah, there's no other drummer. there's probably no other musician that's played a gig with all three. I'm probably the only musician in the world that's played a gig with all three people. So there you go.
Was it dual drummers?
No, I played many gigs with my dad, playing two drums, and then I played a gig with Jack in Budapest, and I played with Eric at my dad's memorial. Played a show in
I see. Separately. Separately.
Yes, I mean separately. Yes, separately. But I'm the only person who's played a gig with all three of them separately. But played a show with all three of them, because there's many people who played with Eric. There's probably many people who played with Jack, and my dad's played with Eric and Jack. But that's it. I mean, I'm the only one that's probably played. I played a show with Eric. I've played a show with Jack, and I've played a show with my dad.
That's amazing, Kofi. It's amazing.
Yeah. But this new tour is going to be so much fun because, like I said, we're doing the music the way Cream should be done. We're improvising and we're playing it. Malcolm sounds like Jack. He plays like Jack. I play like my dad. Not purposely. We just do because that's the way we were brought up. We were brought up around that and taught by those guys. So we play like them. I don't try to play like my dad at all. In fact, I didn't listen to Cream much at all when I started playing it. And then when I listened to it, I was like, how comes my dad's playing it the same way I played it? So obviously I've been listening to it in the last 10, 15 years and really homing in on the key stuff that my dad does, but I still play it my own way. I don't copy his fills or anything. They come out the same anyway, so I don't really have to copy it.
Those Ginger Baker Air Force albums are really pretty amazing.
Like I said, those are the most amazing ones to me. I like the Air Force albums the best myself. I mean, I love Cream and I love Blind Faith, but I think the Air Force is when my dad was really, doing what he wanted to do. That was really where he was, his thing. He was doing his thing. So I think he shines much more there than he did in any of the other stuff. And we're going to do some of that stuff. We're going to do some of Jack's Jack's stuff after Cream. We're going to do some of my dad's stuff after Cream, like Air Force and stuff. But that's going to be the next tour. This tour is it's really just getting us back into the saddle of playing together. And so we're just doing all Cream and Blind Faith. We only do 2 Blind Faith songs, I think, but the rest is all Cream. But, it's different every night. Every night we play different songs and we play them completely different. And people say, well, where are your originals? I say that last 10-minute jam was an original. We play probably, half the set is original because we improvise.
Now, do you record these? Do you videotape or audio tape them?
Well, I don't think so. I mean, the last tour we did was Europe, was like 1 month, and there's some YouTube videos of cell phone stuff, but we should I'm going to try and get some people to do that. Get someone to video at good quality, because, when people record stuff on cell phones and everything, it doesn't sound any good. It sounds terrible. And that's all the stuff that's out there. It's all cell phone videos and everything. It's like, we need to get someone with a really good, system to record it. That's the thing. Because back in the old days when they recorded Cream and all that kind of stuff at their shows, they had the top end mics and, those cameras were like thousands upon thousands of dollars, Like nowadays, everybody just does it with $100 cell phone. And it doesn't sound any good at all, I don't think. But there you go.
Well, we work with the Beverly TV station. Paul Norman's my director. And we have high-quality cameras. And, maybe I can talk to them about bringing them in.
Yeah, that would be great. Yeah, no, I would love that. I mean, sure, Malcolm, we would love that. If you could hook that up, that would be really good. I'd appreciate that. That'd be great.
Yeah, I could definitely bring a TV camera, and Paul, I think Paul would jump at it.
Please do. So, that would be great. Yeah, please.
I've been doing the TV show for, I've been doing it since 1976, going far that back. So we have people like, Ray Manzarek's been on the show, and Mark Fonner of Grand Funk Railroad, and Jodie Foster. So we get A-list guests, and people respect the show. We're very respectful of the music. I think it'd be a blast to
don't
take
release
you guys.
it if we play terrible, we might not want to release it, but we normally play pretty good, so it's all good.
You know, the other thing you can do is you can go in the TV station too if we can get the date. But that, you know, we could talk about that. I've got your phone number.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah. Look at the day. I'll be in England tomorrow. I fly out tomorrow. I've got to pack tonight. I've got to pack all my stuff. I fly out tomorrow for England, and we start the tour in England. And we go to Ireland, and then we fly back to America on August 14th or 13th, I think. 12th, I think I fly back, and then the first gig's on the 13th. So I'm back for one day. I jump in, I load all the stuff in the back of the van, and off we go. So
August 17th, you're playing. That's a day before the Beatles played Boston in 1966, their final tour.
Oh, wow.
So we all know August 18th in Boston because it's the last time the Beatles played here. It's a sacred day.
Oh, yeah, Beatles are one of my favorite bands for songwriting. I love the Beatles. I really do. I play a lot of Beatles songs when I do, you know, cover gigs and stuff. I force them to play Beatles because I love it so much.
Well, you might want to do one Beatles tune because it is the 1966, so it's like the 58th anniversary of their playing here.
All right. Well, I'll talk to Malcolm, and I know Rob knows a bunch of Beatles, and I'll see if we can learn one Beatles song. My favorite Beatles song is "She's So Heavy." So,
oh, it's great. Yeah.
I'm going to see if I can get that one. Sounds like there's a motorbike going on back there.
Well, I left a message for you because the theater got out late. I'm a film critic too, so this new Wolverine Deadpool movie's out.
Oh, okay.
And so I just saw the screening, the critic screening.
Oh, okay.
And so I was going to ask you to do the interview at 11:30, but you called in, so I grabbed it. You know.
Oh, okay. I could have done it later. I'm a night guy. I love being up at night. I'm up all night.
Yeah, John Lappin told me that, and I am as well.
Oh, good. Okay.
Well, we're rock and rollers, right? I mean, that's
yeah.
You know,
I mean, I hate getting up in the morning. I like plays unless I have to get on a plane or something. But you know, I'm like a midday. I get up at midday and go to bed at like 3 or 4 in the morning.
Now, Kofi, do you play any other instruments?
I play keyboards. I write on the keyboards, but I don't really play them as like a fluent. I play them just to write music. I write a lot of songs and use the keyboards to write.
Interesting.
So that's the other instrument I play. But drums is my thing. I try to practice my keyboard, but I sit there and I want to play drums, and so my keyboard's right next to my drum kit. It's all in my studio, and but I'll write a melody. If I want to practice over something, I'll write a melody and practice over it for a while. Things like that.
Right. Wow. Well, we look forward to your show, August 17th, and I will stay in touch with you and John Lappin about possibly recording it.
Yeah, great. Well, definitely call me anytime. I might not be much. You might not be able to get a hold of me for the next couple of weeks because we're going to be in England. I'm not sure what my phone service is going to be like. But I get back into America on like the 13th, 12th or 13th. So definitely call me around about then, and I'll have my phone back and running. And we can definitely. I might be able to talk to you via Malcolm's phone or something. So in England, which will work. But I don't think I have any phone service when I'm in England. But when I get back, definitely.
I will write this up and get it in the newspaper before the gig.
Perfect. Great. I appreciate it. Thank you.
No, thank you, Kofi.
Let's get together and let's record it. That would be great. If you could do that, I'd appreciate it. That'd be great.
All right. I'm pretty sure we can. It's like 99%.
All right. Well, let me know. And like I said, you can call me when I get back, or if you call Malcolm, you're sure you got Malcolm's number, you can call him, and we'll all be together in London the next couple of weeks.
Great. All right, man. Thank you very much for being on the Pop Explosion.
Oh, great. All right. Do you want me to do a tag for you, or are you okay with that?
Oh, this is Kofi Baker on the Pop Explosion. Sure.
I could go, I'm Kofi Baker, and this is the Pop Explosion.
Hey, man. Thanks a lot.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. I'll speak to you soon.
Yes, sir. Bye-bye.
All right. Take care. Bye.